to you.
Okay, so you might go to a restaurant and you're like, wow, that waiter was really good, but all I have is one. And I kind of want to impress him, or her, waiter, waitress. So I'm going to teach you how to make a $1 bow tie, which is you're going to take a regular dollar bill, fold it up into a bow tie, and it does not have to do anything with cutting or ripping or anything like that, so you can always undo it. But it's something my mom has learned through being a waitress, and she taught me, so now I'm going to teach you guys. So I'm going to each give you $1, but I do want it back.
I love it.
Doesn't matter. Any sort of paper money.
Never had anybody pass out money before the speech. What a great way to do it.
Oh, yes. Another thing, too, the more rigid the bill, the better. This kind of soft and maybe it doesn't really hold the lines very well. So. All right. Now that you have your dollar, make sure that your president, whoever it is facing straight up. And the first step is we're going to fold it hamburger style, so the face is straight up. Just like this, just in half. Make sure that your creases are very, very strong. It's going to help it be more defined. All right. Once everybody's got that, we'll move on to the next step, which is we are going to fold it in half again, but this time hot dog style, which if you don't know this, it's elongated, like so. Once again, you want to make sure your creases are very strong. And for each of these steps, I try to make something witty that could go along with them because I find it's a lot easier to remember them than just saying, okay, fold here, fold here, fold here. I try to make them a lot more witty so you can remember them. So once you leave this class, you can do it with any sort of money you want to. Up next, we're going to, this is called what I call the peekaboo stage. You're going to hold by his eyes, right in the corner, and you're going to want to fold it so it becomes a triangle on the top. Once again, you want to hold the corner of his eyes and pull it tight so that way you make a triangle on the top like so. And once again, I call this the peekaboo stage. Okay, you're going to go back so that way George, or whoever it is looking at you. You're going to hold the corner right by his, where his tear would come out. And you're going to open it up and fold it into a triangle at the top. So that way it's starting to kind of look like a pentagon or a house shape. Okay, once again you want to do really hard creases. And then what you're going to do now, everyone's got that?
No.
Everyone got it?
Yep.
Okay. We're going to flip it to the other side. And we're going to do the same thing. Once again, hold the corner, fold it. And what you want to do is make sure they're very symmetrical. Both halves are exactly the same. Because otherwise it's not going to be quite defined.
Oh, you flip it over?
Yes, flip it over, and you do repeat the process. I call this peekaboo 2. So now you're going to have a house. I call this the White House. And a fun fact that I wrote on my Prezi is that the address for the White House is 100 East Pennsylvania Avenue. You'll see that on my Prezi. Okay, does everyone have that? Okay, so now what we're going to do is you're going to pinch both these halves together, so that way once again George is looking at you, or whoever your president happens to be.
Wait, what?
So, okay, originally,
No, I got it.
okay. So now you're going to have it like this, so that we have the ones or any other number in the corner, and then you have the president right here at the point. Have that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to open the door to the White House, and hope the Obamas let you in. And you're going to fold it up so you make a little rectangle like this. And one thing you want to make sure is that the point right here of this triangle is right, pretty much in line with the edge of the bill. And once again, you're going to want to make sure that your creases are very strong. Everybody got that? Okay, so now you're going to flip it over like this. So that way you can still see somewhat of the head of the president. And you're going to do the same exact thing to the other side. And once again, you want to make sure that that's fairly uniform and pretty much the same as the other fold. And strong creases. Very strong creases. Okay, so now what we're going to do is you have right here in the middle is your point to your triangle that's going to be sandwiched in between your two rectangular ends of the bill. You want to take the opposite side of that, and you're going to want to fold these in. And I like doing it with the pyramid side of the dollar bill facing up. And I call this cover your eyes. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to fold it just about halfway, but you want to make sure you leave at least a little bit of a space, so that way you can poke it out at the end. So you're going to fold very tight creases once again. I call this cover your eyes. And you're going to do that to both sides. I'm not that good at it. You want to leave a little bit of a space in the middle. Do not come completely together, as I've done. Tight creases. And then we're going to fold it over and repeat. And once again, you want to make sure that it's very symmetrical. Now you should roughly have almost a triangle again. Okay, now this next few steps are very hard and very tricky to get. This is when you're going to start to unfold it and then refold it. So what you want to do is make sure you place your pointer finger and then your middle finger on each one of these folds. Each one of these folds is right in between your thumbs. So you want your pointer finger and your middle finger on each one of the flaps on each side, your thumbs on the inside, and you want to make sure the point where the president is right in between your thumbs. So once you do that, you're gonna, this is what I call butterfly out and push down Mount Rushmore. You'll see why. You're going to hold this very carefully and pull out. But while you're pulling out, I find it's very helpful, push down the president in the middle. And it's, you're going to want to fold it square, like this. And you're going to make sure that When you pull up and out, you want to still keep your fingers, your pointer finger and your middle finger on the flaps, and you want to push down the face of the president, which is pushing down Mount Rushmore. And then you're going to want to square up the center of your bow tie. And do not pull too far, otherwise it will undo itself, unravel itself. Quite tricky. So, right there is your bow tie. And practice, practice, practice makes perfect. I sat one foot on top of this and did it probably about 20 times in a row. That'll be good.
Would like tie something so you can put it on.
And now I'm going to go through my fuzzy to show you once again the steps.
I got A's linked. I feel pretty accomplished. Might wear this as well. Do it look like 100 or something. I'm gonna wear it 100. It's like a week helping feel proud. This $100 bill, you looking flat.
Okay, once again, this is the $1 bow tie. And we start it with the having it, hamburger style, of course. Then we move in it to have it, hot dog style. And then we go to the first peekaboo stage. And make sure you hold the corner of his eye and bring it down. And then you peekaboo it again and make sure it's symmetrical. Then you're going to have the White House stage, which is under East Pennsylvania Avenue. Then you're going to open the door of the White House. And then you're going to open again and make sure your point is to the tip. And then you're going to cover your eye. And repeat and make sure it's symmetrical. And very clean lines. You're going to batten down the hatches, which is, like I said, pointer finger and middle finger on each one of the flaps, thumbs in the middle. And then you're going to butterfly out, push down Mount Rushmore, and there is your dollar bill bow tie.